Hey everyone, we've all seen them, haven't we? The cowboy movies. The crack of gunfire echoing across the plains. The lonely sound of a harmonica, riders silhouetted against a vast, endless horizon. These images are so deeply embedded in our culture that we feel like we know the American Wild West. But when you stop and think about it, that's kind of amazing. Because we're talking about a very recent period of history, just a few decades in the 19th century. And yet, as American culture grew to influence the rest of the world, its foundational myth became a shared global heritage. And make no mistake, the Wild West, as we know it, is first and foremost a myth. For America, the Wild West was its own version of the ancient Greeks' Mediterranean Sea. It was a vast, uncharted space that beckoned heroes to adventure. It was a place where the bold and the fearless could find their reward, but also where nearly everyone in the end was met with a sudden and often senseless death. Nobody was safe from a stray bullet, a random argument, or a single misstep. This world gave birth to its own epics, its own legends. Figures like Wyatt Earp, Butch Cassidy, and Billy the Kid became almost mythical. Their stories were told and retold, embellished around campfires until the real people and events were lost in a haze of fiction and folklore. But the real Wild West bore little resemblance to the romance we see on screen. Most cowboys weren't gunslinging heroes. They were low-paid, overworked ranch hands who rode horses simply because there were no roads. The revolver was more a practical tool for self-defense than a fashion statement. Bank robberies were far rarer than movies would have you believe, and most conflicts were settled without a dramatic duel at dawn. So why do we still love these stories? Because they speak to something timeless within us. They're about freedom, justice, and the choice between good and evil. The Wild West isn't just a historical setting. It's a metaphor for the human spirit, always striving for the unknown, for whatever lies just over the horizon. And maybe, just maybe, that's why the myth is still so powerful today. Because every one of us, at least once in our lives, has dreamed of jumping on a horse and riding off toward the place where adventure begins.